Welcome you all to my 7th tutorial of Pascal programming language. In our last tutorial, we learned if statements and case statements. Today we are going to learn about loops in Pascal. Loops are often used to proceed repetition in a program. The repetition allows the programmer to run a sequence of statements repeatedly for a number of times. Before learning about the loops, let's look at this program. If I ask you to print programming is fun on screen for 3 times, how will you do it? Won't you do it like I have shown in the flowchart on screen? With what we learned so far, you might write a program like this. We will start the program and we will give the print command 3 times and will end. And if it is in coding, it will look like this. It will work exactly like how we want it. But here we are repeating the same code thrice. Instead of doing this, we can use a loop to execute the same program. First one is for do, second one is repeat until, and the third one is do while. First, let's learn about the for do loop. I have shown a flowchart which demonstrates how for do loop works. First, let's get the variable and assign it to 0, and then we'll ask the program whether the number is equal to 3. If it's not 3, then the program will execute a set of statements repeatedly until it is equal to 3. And if it is equal to 3, then the program will end. Here is the syntax of for do loop. We should write for and will initiate the variable inside the bracket. And after the bracket, we will write to. And then we will write the value we want the program to execute until. And we'll write do, and after that we'll give the statements we want to repeat. We learned the theory of the for do loop. Now let's try coding. It's working perfectly. It displayed programming is fun 3 times on screen. We got the same results without repeating the same code thrice. Now the second one, the repeat until loop. On screen, I have shown a flowchart for this loop also. You can see we are getting a variable here also, and first we are printing programming is fun, telling it to add a number to the variable, and then we are checking whether the number is greater than 3. If the answer is yes, then the program will end. If the answer is no, then the program will repeat the statements I have provided. The thing about repeat until loop is it executes the code inside the repetition only when the condition is false. And repeat until loop, before checking the condition, it executes the code we want to repeat at least once. I have shown the syntax of repeat until loop on screen. First, we write repeat and then we give the commands or statements we want to execute in repetition, and then we write until, and after writing until, we give our condition. Let's try coding this in Pascal. I am commenting the previous code I wrote so that you will be able to compare this with that. Now let's execute and see whether it is showing what we want. Yes, it is working and giving us exactly what we want. Now the last one, while do loop. I have shown a flowchart for this one also. While do loop never execute the code we want to repeat before checking the condition, and it also executes the code in repetition as far as the condition is true. If the condition becomes false, Then it will end the loop. Now let's have a look at the syntax of while do loop. Mostly we give one statement to be executed in repetition. If we have more than one statement to repeat, then we will be need to write begin and end. Inside that only we should give our statements. Now let's try coding this in Pascal. Here also I am commenting the previous code so that you will be able to compare all these at one gap. This one is also working perfectly. If you have any requirement to repeatedly do something in a program, then you should definitely use loop. It is which makes the program look smarter and the work easier. Okay, that's all for today. Hope you all understood for do loop, repeat until loop, and while do loop. If you have any questions, suggestions, or ideas to improve, feel free to drop them in comments box or mail me. Until I see you in my next video, happy coding!